ওই হ্যাঁ ভোট না ভোটেরটা দেখতেছো?
হ্যাঁ, এটা জানতে হইব না? না জানি না মুখস্থ করলো কাউয়া কাকে কানে চিনলি কান
Honestly, I'm still exploring what is the right way to start a life. Okay, guys, so there is a book named The Catcher in the Rye. There is also a movie on this book. তো আমি এই বইটা পড়বো আর কি উইথ ইউ গাইস অন, মানে লাইভে থাকা অবস্থায় আপনাদের সাথে আমি বইটা পড়ার চেষ্টা করব। তো ধরেই নিতে পারেন যে আমি যতক্ষণ দিনে এই বইটা পড়বো প্রতিদিন, যতক্ষণ টাইম দেবে বইটার পিছনে, ততক্ষণ আমি লাইভে থাকবো। সো this is the book that you can see. Jamar Pilu. Mama, এদিকে আসো মামা। এই যে he's not interested. But who cares about her interest? Life তো চলবে। I will start reading the book. The Catcher in the Rye. J.D. Salinger. যতদূর জানি it's about a book based, like written on a teenager. Really want to hear about it. The first thing you'll probably want to know is where I was born and what my lousy childhood was like, and how my parents. If you really want to hear about it, like starting day eto interesting, and I think word choices are also easy. So starting da khub bhalo lagse. If you really want to hear about it, the first thing you'll probably want to know is where I was born. Yeah, true. কারণ তুমি একদম স্টার্ট থেকে শুরু করলে তখন আরও বেশি পরিচয় ভালো মনে হবে, পরিচিতিটা তখন আরও বেশি নোন লাগবে, যে আই নো ইউ ফ্রম দ্য start, from the very big funny that you how my parents were occupied and all before they had me. That means তোমার জন্মের আগে তারা কেমন ছিল? Well, how do you know? Maybe parents-ই বলছে। And all that David Copperfield kind of crap. I think that's a person, a character. But I don't feel like going into it. If you want to know the truth, আচ্ছা ডেভিড কোপারফিল্ড নিয়ে বলতে আগ্রহী না। In the first place, that stuff bores me. কেন বলতে আগ্রহী না বলে দিছে, because it bores you, right? And in the second place, my parents have about 2 hemorrhages a piece if I told anything pretty about them. Okay, there's a new term I found, hemorrhages. Maybe প্রোনাউন্সিয়েশনটা আমি কারেক্ট করেছি, বাট স্টিল আই উইল গেট, কারণ আমি পরে দেখে নেব। অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমার ল্যাপটপের ডিসপ্লেটাতে প্রবলেম হওয়ার কারণে আই এম নট able to, search right now with you guys. But later on, I'll surely gonna know the words with you, with the flow. But এখন আপাতত আমি জাস্ট মার্ক করে রাখবো. I told anything pretty personal about them. Okay. They are quite touchy about anything like that. Touchy means maybe sensitive বোঝাচ্ছে. Especially my father. Okay. So the line my father. So that kind of sentence is also very nicely presented. That he's saying that they're quite touchy about anything like that. Especially my father. So you are adding another person, and that is how the lines are like keeping your interest. So they're quite touchy about anything, especially my father. So you can add lines interesting. Okay, maybe আমি আপনাদের বইয়ের লাইনগুলো that would be nice. Well, try. দেখতে পাচ্ছেন? They are nice and all, but not saying that. I'm not saying that. But they are also touchy as hell. Besides, I'm not going to tell you my whole goddamn autobiography or anything. I'll just tell you about this madman stuff that happened to me around last Christmas just before I got pretty run down and had to come out here and take it easy. I mean, that's all I told DB. DB means, I don't know, DB about maybe David Copperfield. And he's my brother. Oh no, he's my brother. DB is my brother. Okay. Actually, আমি জিনিসটা স্ক্রিনটা হোল্ড করে আই এম ফেসিং ডিফিকাল্টিস, সো আল কিপ ইট অফ. Just listen to me, guys. I think that's gonna help. In Hollywood, that isn't too far from this Crombie place. He comes over and visits me practically every weekend, not weekend, it's weekend, money weekend শেষের দিকে, I guess. He's going to drive me home when I go home next month, maybe. He just got a Jaguar, one of those little English jobs that can do around 200 miles an hour. It cost him damn near 4,000 bucks. He's got a lot of dough now. He didn't used to. He used to be just a regular writer when he was home. He wrote his terrific book of short stories. That's a very rude way to say that. It's a terrific book at the very beginning, because how do you know that other reader is also gonna find that terrific? So that's also funny at the same time. He wrote this terrific book of short stories, The Secret Goldfish. In case you never heard of him, the best one in it was The Secret Goldfish. It was about this little kid that wouldn't let anybody look at his goldfish because he would bought it with his own money. It killed me. Now he's out in Hollywood, DB, being a prostitute. If there's one thing I hate, it's the movies. Don't even mention them to me. Okay, the main character doesn't like movies. Where where I want to start telling is the day I felt pensive prep prep in this school that's in Hagerstown, Pennsylvania. Interesting name. You probably heard of it. You have probably seen the ads anyway. They are advertised in about 1,000 magazines, always showing some hotshot guy on a horse jumping over a fence, like as if all you ever did at Wednesday was play polo all the time. I never even once saw a horse anywhere near the place, and underneath the guy on the horse's picture, it always says, since though we have been molding boys into splendid, clear thinking young men, strictly for the birds, they do any damn more molding at Pensy than they do at any other school. And I didn't know anybody there that was splendid and clear thinking at all. Okay guys, my today's goal is that I will read at least 5 pages in this life. So let's continue. I'm in page 2. Maybe 2 guys, if that many, and they probably came to Wednesday that way. Anyway, it was the Saturday of the football game with Saxon Hall. The game with Saxon Hall was supposed to be a very big deal around Wednesday. It was the last game of the year, and you were supposed to commit suicide or something if old Wednesday didn't win. I remember around 3 o'clock that afternoon, I was standing. That was in Revolutionary War and all. You could see the whole field from there, and you could see the whole teams bashing each other all over the place. You couldn't see the grandstand too hot, but you could hear them all yelling deep and terrific on the fancy side, because practically the whole school except me was there, and Scrawny and Faggy on the Saxon Hall side, because the visiting team hardly ever brought many people with them. Okay, done with page 2. I'm moving forward to page 3. There were never many girls at all at the football games. Only seniors were allowed to bring girls with them. Hmm. It was a terrible school, no matter how you looked at it. I like to be somewhere at least where you can see a few girls around once in a while, even if they are only scratching their arms or blowing their nose or even just giggling or something. Old Selma Thurmar, she was the headmaster then, but she wasn't exactly the type that drove you mad with desire. She was a pretty nice girl, though. I sat next to her once in the bus from Agastron, and we sort of struck up a conversation. I liked her. Okay. She had a big nose, and her nails were all beaten down and bloody looking, and she had on those damn falsies that point all over the place. But you felt sort of sorry for her. What I liked about her, she didn't give he was. Hmm. The reason I was standing way up on Thompson Hill instead of down at the game was because I would just got back from New York with the fencing team. I was the goddamn manager of the fencing team. Very big deal, okay? Very big deal. We would gone into New York that morning for this fencing meet with MC Burney's school. Only we didn't have the meet. I felt all the foils and equipment and stuff on the goddamn subway. It wasn't all my fault. I had to keep getting up to look at this map so we would know where to get off. So we got back to Pensy around 2:30 instead of around dinner time. The whole team ostracized me the whole way back on the rain. I was pretty funny in a way. The other reason I wasn't down at the game was because I was on my way to say goodbye to old Spencer. My history teacher, he had the cripple, and I figured I probably wouldn't see him again till Christmas vacation started. He wrote me this. Okay. Good news, chap. Page 3 is done. Note saying he wanted to see I wasn't coming back to Florida. They gave me frequent warning to start applying myself, especially around midterms when my parents came up for a conference with old Thermar. But I didn't do it, so I got the X. They give guys the X quite frequently at Pensy. Hmm, it really does. Anyway, it was December and all, and it was cold as a witch teeth, especially on top of that stupid hill. I only had on my reversible and no gloves or anything. The week before that, somebody would stolen my camel's hair coat right out of my room with my fur lined gloves right in the pocket and all. Sensei was full of crocs. Quite a few guys came from these very wealthy families, but it was full of crooks anyway. The more expensive a school is, the more crooks it has. I'm not kidding. Anyway, I kept standing next to that crazy cannon, looking down at the game and freezing my ass off. Only I wasn't watching the game too much what I was really hanging around for. I was trying to feel some kind of a goodbye. I mean, I have left schools and places I didn't even know I was leaving them. I hate that. I don't care if it's a sad goodbye or a bad goodbye, but when I leave a place, I like to know I'm leaving it. But when I leave a place, I like to know I'm leaving it. If you don't, you feel even worse. Okay, লাইনটা ইন্টারেস্টিং ছিল, আমি আবার পড়ি. I mean, I have left schools and places I didn't even know I was leaving them. I hate that. I don't care if it's a sad goodbye or a bad goodbye, but when I leave a place, I like to know I'm leaving it. Oh, that is such a beautiful way to say it. কারণ আমরা একটা জায়গা থেকে, এখানে এটাই বলা হয়েছে যে আমরা একটা জায়গা থেকে যখন যাচ্ছি, হয়তো ও তখন ছোট ছিল, ও বুঝতো না যে ওই জায়গাটা থেকে চলে যাইতেছে। ও হয়তো ভাবতেছে আবার আসলে দেখা হবে, সো এটা আরও বেশি খারাপ কষ্টের। বাট হি ডাজেন্ট কেয়ার যে এটা কোনো ভালো বিদায় নাকি খারাপ মানে খারাপ বিদায়। বাট এটা জানা খুব জরুরি যে আমি এই জায়গাটা থেকে চলে যাইতেছি। ইট ইজ আ গুড বাই ফর মি। অ্যান্ড এটা জানাটা বিদায়ের সময় খুবই ইম্পর্ট্যান্ট। ওকে, ইফ ইউ পার্সোনালি আস্ক মি, আমি এটার উল্টা। আমি আমার মাথায় রাখি যে না, আমি আবার আসবো, আবার ইয়ে হবে, দেখা হবে, কথা হবে। আই হেট গুড বাইস। ঠিক আছে, সময়ের স্রোতে হয়তো আমি ভুলে যাব কথাগুলো, যে আস্তে আস্তে সব নর্মাল হয়ে যাবে, বাট আমি নিজেকে বুঝ দিই, আই গেস। আই ডোন্ট নো। আর বলা যায় না, পৃথিবী অনেক ছোট, দেখা হয়ে যেতেই পারে। এটা ঠিক যে অনেক বছর পর দেখা হলে হয়তো সম্পর্কটা সেম থাকবে না, সেই ফ্রেন্ডশিপ আর থাকবে না, অনেক কিছু চেঞ্জ হয়ে যায়। বাট ওয়াই কেয়ার নাও, জাস্ট লিভ ইউর লাইফ হ্যাপিলি। আচ্ছা, মুভিং ফরওয়ার্ড টু নেক্সট প্যারা। I was lucky. All of a sudden, I thought of something that helped make me know I was getting the hell out. I suddenly remembered this time, in around October, that I and Robert Titchener and Paul Campbell were chucking a football around in front of the academic building. They were nice guys, especially Titchener. It was just before dinner and it was getting pretty dark out, but we kept chucking the ball around anyway. Okay, I have landed in page 5 and I'm almost done with 25 minutes of my life, so I think I will quit now. I'll see you guys in the next live, so stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe my channel. That's all for today. See you again. Allah Hafiz.